Nimble Neuron has gotta pay me at this point. Over the last 2 months, I've been advertising on Reddit, on my videos. Hey, if you're a new player, I can take a look at your replay and I can give you some feedback and maybe help you out, help you get into the game. After the last new player video kinda took off, I finally hit 100 new players that I VOD reviewed for. Hey, I get it, it's kind of weird that I counted, but I've had this video in the back of my mind for quite a bit. So the process went like they DM me on Discord or Twitter, or I even got a couple emails, and I would grab a game ID, take notes as I watched the games, and the notes would look something like this. If you're sweating bullets right now thinking, he's about to put my replays on blast in front of a bunch of strangers online. Nah, I'm only gonna use my gameplay for this video. I feel like it would be fucked if I showed new players. Even if people in the comments were nice and friendly, I still wouldn't want to put them to that scrutiny. Out of these 100 players, probably about 98 of them had this in common. Their routing was kinda still dog shit. And I take it upon myself, honestly. I don't think my videos in the past did this topic justice. More so, it was, hey, just keep practicing, man. So I'm gonna go into the little nitty gritty, and then on the back end of the video, I'm gonna rapid fire questions that some of these players have asked me. Most players knew to route towards the next zone, which I've preached in other videos. So if I'm in Av and my next zone is in Beach, I'm gonna route towards the teleporter. But one thing a lot of people mess up is on their way to that teleporter, they'll make a lot of little loops. Reasons they do this is they'll miss parts of their loot distribution, or they'll even just greed for one specific item in that zone. There's a homecoming video that everyone preaches is the Bible of loot distribution, so I'll throw that in the description, but you don't have to memorize every loot distribution to use this to your advantage. You just need to make sure you're hitting every box that is on your way to the next zone, because items are evenly distributed between every 5 crates. And unless you're looking for 6 gemstones, you should grab everything that you need just chugging through every crate to the next zone. What I noticed is a lot of players would be missing maybe a hammer, maybe a piece of cloth, and that's all they need to finish their build. Well, what I'm going to tell you is don't look in the boxes. You might be saying what the fuck are you saying? I don't understand this at all. Well, you're going to open a box, and then you don't look what's inside it, you just kind of glance, and you're already moving on to the next box by the time it registered in your head what was inside that. So the time that you save from just popping open boxes real quick, in the time that you lose from having to circle back to that box, it cancels out, and you're gonna save a lot more time in the long run. Another thing you can do to kind of pick up your pace while looting is you can, 1, craft at the boxes if you do need time to look inside and grab what you need. Crafting at a box gives you a little extra time to see what's in the box with being efficient. You're doing something while looking. Another thing I've recommended for people that I VOD reviewed for is to turn quick craft on. It just makes things so much easier and a lot more efficient. I bind mine to F. I don't even use the Z bind, which I found kind of inconvenient. Also, I'm gonna take the blame for this one. This one is my bad. I've hyped up farming and I've hyped up getting the right food in your builds, but the issue is when this gets in the way of you getting full build by night 1. So the golden rule is you gotta get your full build by night 1, right? The only issue is that's really hard when players are going out of their way to try to farm things when they don't have a finished weapon, or even they're going out of their way to make food and that's cramming up their inventory. I'd say these things are fine in moderation, like grabbing food along your route to replace your bread, or even farming the animals as you go, as long as it really doesn't slow you down that much. I'd just like to emphasize the number one thing that you want to do is getting your build online early. Also, another thing that maybe 1 or 2 players out of the 100 did were they crafted cameras. I've hyped up vision so much, but console vision is less effective because people can take that away from you now. You need to craft cams if you're serious about like improving in a competitive sense. If you're just having fun with normals, then you know what, that's fine. Trust me, they're not even that hard to do. You shouldn't go out of your way to craft these, just like you shouldn't go out of your way to craft like food. You should be doing it as you're chasing objectives, chasing kills, or hunting. Pretty much any zone I can find binoculars, I'll check a couple of chests just casually. You can grab them alley, hotel, factory, beach, on dogs, bats, enemy bodies, like just have a slot for these. Then for the other piece of the puzzle where you get surveillance cams, bats are all around the map. You should be farming anyway, so that should be pretty easy. What do cams do, you ask? Well, you get vision for fights to 3P, prevent you from being 3P'd, warding around objectives, warding objectives so you can jump in late. I even use them so I don't get jumped on while I'm doing bears. Alright, I'm off my soapbox. Just know, if you find binoculars, just throw them in your inventory. They could come in handy. Alright, we're gonna rapid fire some questions now. Some commonly asked questions I get while helping these new players out. I get the question, I don't know what to do after I am full build. You just gotta pick something, whether it's fighting players, farming, contesting objectives. You just have to be decisive. So many new players just don't pick something and kind of wander around and waste time. If you want, you can join the character Discord. I'll throw a link for that in the description. You can find out what your character that you picked should be doing after your full build. Some of them are aggressive and should be contesting things like Tree, like Nathapon or Lennox. Some of them are just trying to fight everyone they see like a Luke player. And some of them, you can kind of do whatever you want. With Adri, I contest Tree sometimes I'll go Doc Bears, sometimes I'm just looking to grief people that roll into factory half build. But every character's different, so I can't really tell you what the optimal thing to do is after full build, but there's plenty of options. You just gotta pick something. The next question I feel very passionate about, they say, which character should I play? And I was curious and I kind of hopped around streamers on my alt account, undercover, and I said, yo, I'm a new player, what should I play? And most said similar things like, hey, play Jackie, Aya, Yuki, they're super easy, you'll get a hold of them quickly. And they are easy, but I fucking hate this answer with a passion. Play who is fun to you. If you think Adela or Adri is fun, just play them. You might struggle for a bit, but who knows? Like, maybe they'll be tossed into the meta eventually and you'll end up winning in the long term. Just play who you enjoy. If a character isn't meta or a character isn't very easy to pick up, that doesn't mean you should stray away from them. So I get the answer a lot, hey, when does ranked queue pop? So NA usually pops around like 6 p.m. Eastern when season is ongoing, and it probably will pop slowly until like 8 p.m. where it starts to pick up. For other regions, I really have no clue. KR always pops, so if you have like exit lag or something, that's an option, but if you can, I'd try to queue NA. If you're a new player and have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'll leave my Discord in the comments. Hopefully this helped a bit. Also, super exciting news, I made a Twitch account. I haven't streamed yet, but shout out to Screwlocowo, who followed before I even made this call to action. That will be in the description. I'm going to record some of my videos that I do here. And this is what I look like. We're going to be vibing for a bit, and then we're going to transition into first timing Lee dial in, and every time I die, I'm going to drink. So, first stream might be a bit of a shitter, but links in the description. We're live right now, and if Twitch isn't your thing, thank you for supporting me here on YouTube. Appreciate it.